Hey, you there! Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 4v4 custom match here on the most famous map in all of Supreme Commanderdom. It is SETON'S Clutch. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the northeast and ending with Team 2 in the southwest. Starting off with the cliff position here for Team 1, or rock position, whatever you want to call it. We have in Tropical Ocean Blue, it is Hybrid. He is a Seraphim for this match as a 2000 rated player. To his west, we have in Forest Green is the Seraphim player of Delhi. He is a 2100. He is tied for the highest rated player on his team. To his north in the beach position is Akira FAF. He is a Cybran. He is a 1700. We'll note he is tied for the lowest ranked player in the game. To the east, we have in Batman Gray, it is Jagged Appliance. He is a Cybran. He is a 2100. He is tied with Delhi for the highest rated player on his team. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 Cybrans, 2 Seraphims, no UEF, no Aeon for Team 1. Starting off with Team 2's cliff position, rock position, we have in the west, it is the Pac-Man, not Pac-Man, I always want to say Pac-Man Yellow, but it is Barbie Pink player of Zara JC. He is a UEF as an 1800. In the middle causeway position before the action really kicks up, it is RoboGear. He is a Cybran in Stitch Blue. He is tied for the highest rated player on his team and in the game overall at 2200 rating. To the south, we have his teammate coming up to his system is Iskatel Razuma. I want to say Isekai, but that's not how it's spelled, or there's not a T in there. He is a 1700 again in the beach position. And in the west, we have Waffles Noob in the rear guarder slot in Rust as a UEF. He's a 2200. He is tied with RoboGear for the highest rated player on his team and in the game overall. And of course, this being a SETON'S match, everybody knows the customary positions and the, of course, I guess not new at this point, but the normal meta of going to the middle of the map from the beach position as well. Combat has kicked off between RoboGear and Delhi. Of course, not a huge concern. It's just the early little harass. And 18 hit points a second region will pretty much fix him right up before more and more action kicks up. And of course, as customary, Team 1 has a tiny advantage given that Akira is in the beast position and moving in from the north, which means he has a little bit shorter distance to get to that eastern Salem wreck than his mirror of, who is that? That is Razuma from the south. And again, spreading of the reclaim has it good. We do see that Delhi going for the second of the 3 Salem's, going for the western one as well, which means his teammate of Akira will be able to grab the northern one, or I guess that's eastern one there, right there. RoboGear going for more of the reclaim on the eastern side, and some units from each team are moving in to assist as well. We have some common action between Razuma and Delhi now, trying to assist with that. Razuma going immediately, it looks like, for that. No, looks like he stops. Delhi being shot for a decent amount by those Mantis. And of course, Razuma constantly pelting the back of that commander. RoboGear feeling this similar burn on the eastern side. Delhi actually might be shoved into the water here. And Akira was a little bit delayed getting onto the scene here, which puts Team 2 at a little bit slight advantage in that regard, shoving Delhi into the water. Still not actually fully covered. I guess he's covered enough. I guess he's actually more out of range. And that will put Team 2 in a slight advantage in the middle. Now it's a 2v1. Or maybe we'll see Delhi go for a gun or nano or regen or whatever upgrade on board that come. Akira getting blasted by those Team 1 Mantis will give him a little bit of efficiency on board, but not enough to get him a rank, giving him more hit points and regen. T2 started for Delhi's comm to rep up hit points immediately. That is the benefit of T2, is you get an immediate boost in hit points rather than the nano upgrade, where it's more of a over the course of the, not 5-6 minutes, but it's a little bit more of a long-term investment more than an immediate one. And I will have to point out, I will apologize to each and every one of you. The last week or so, my laptop, my mobile setup, for some reason was not doing super hot in terms of the stuttering effects that it was giving, and some of you did comment in those videos that it was just a little bit frustrating, so I will apologize for that. I'm trying to investigate what's going on with it, do some refreshes, do something with it to improve the performance. I do travel a decent amount for work, so my opinion is always, yeah, there may be a little bit of stuttering issues, but at least a video is released every day versus not being for a couple days, or in this case I traveled for 2 weeks straight, so it was a little bit more of a long-term thing. I will have to travel for a month in March, so I'm hoping to get maybe a new laptop before then. Maybe not. We'll see how funds and everything go with that, but maybe I'll be able to do that. Just a little bit better PC, I think, to help with the task of dealing with FAF as it is. I know it's an older game, but again, that laptop is 5 or 6 years. I think it's 5 years old, and it is a 1060 in there, so it's probably on the end of its life cycle there. We do see Deli getting a nice little T2 PD, helped by Akira to get Team 2's case off of them. But the comms are inbound. We do see, again, Robogear went for stealth and gun, so going to be able to fight back a little bit more and deal a lot of hit points to that commander in the middle. More and more units are stacking up, and of course Navy very much is customary. We actually, coincidentally enough, have Akira grabbing the western island away from Czar, so that he's going to be a little bit annoyed about that. He's sending some forces inbound, it looks like, to deal with that, but that is a little bit of advantage for Team 1, getting a little bit more mass into his coffers. But Akira is dropping into the red, trying to get a T1 PD online to assist from Delhi, but no, he is defeated in the middle of the map. That is a early ejection, considering we are in SETON'S. Usually it's about maybe the 20-minute mark, if not even later than that. But it is now a 4v3 in favor of Team 2. In the middle of the map is not looking great for Delhi. We did see Razuma is retreating, a couple of subs nearby. Definitely going to make that trip home a little bit more annoying. I highly doubt he'll die. He might actually just go to land and then go the longer way around. I know it's a little bit more annoying to do that, but better safe than sorry, especially with all those subs kind of shortly moving in to assist. We do see guns starting here for Delhi. Maybe he's going to try to ambush Robogear, but again, has to be careful. There's a lot of units nearby for him. He's trying to stack up his own units, get some wall sections online to force the fight in the middle instead of on the edges of the map. But with this continued pressure here from Robogear, I don't think that will happen. The engineer, of course, has killed off more wall sections back here, trying to, again, drive the attention to the middle with all my yellow dots spammed everywhere. Unfortunately, Robogear's comm is outranging the T1 PD. It's not really going to give Team 1's Delhi a little bit more advantage than he really would like. And frontline facilities, nice little bullet sponges, but those won't last much longer. In the water situation, take a little bit break of the middle. Again, looks like Team 1's pushing out a lot of territory, at least trying to grab the very fluid situation that is the corner of the map. Not really anything going on in the northwestern corner besides just now Delhi having control of that western island there, which I would assume that Zara gets back here shortly. So I wouldn't be surprised if that stays there for Team 1 maybe a couple more minutes, but I don't expect it to be there much longer. Tactical missiles started for Delhi in the middle of the map. We'll see if that ends up being useful for him. I don't know if he can hit Robogear's comm. I think it's 8,000 damage, so I would drop him, below 50% hit points, and maybe that'll be enough. I don't know. There's still a lot of Team 1 units nearby. I don't think he'll be able to get the kill on Robogear. I think he's being a little bit more cautious now. We see T2 PD now coming online here for Delhi as well. But again, Delhi has dual base, which means he can scale his eco quite nicely. T2 Navy online and T2 land as well. Tactical missile is done on Delhi's comm. Will he fire it is the question. He's about ready to be loaded. There he is. He's loaded, ready to go, and it looks like he just wants to get out of there. In the eastern side of the map, lots of spy planes, but air scouts running over the top to make sure Team 1 doesn't pull a fast one on Team 2. D2 Navy online for the eastern pond as well as the southern eastern pond here for Team 2. Razuma does have T2 air online. Love to see that, especially in the naval player, because you have to build your own torp bombers. As much as it would be nice for the airplay to help assist with that, you have to get your own torp bombers, and torp launchers, but at least torp bombers to help assist with taking out those cruisers, or just spam destroying destroyers. One way to deal with them, just put a bunch of essentially missiles that go into the water on top of that not frigate, but overgrown frigate into a destroyer to take that out. We do see a land incursion in the north by Tsar. Coincidentally enough, maybe we'll see that actually materialize into something. At a minimum, it's going to be a distraction. It looks like Team 1 has spotted this. So it's going to be a distraction at a minimum. A couple of Corsairs inbound from Jagged Appliance that will help out a decent amount, trying to take out those engineers. Looks like, yep, he took out another one of them, but it gets shot down. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more out of him. Of course, T3 Air is online for both air players. Again, it's 14 minutes. If they didn't have T3 Air online by now, I'd be very concerned. In the middle of the map, RoboGear has shifted into Navy and then immediately got denied by Team 1. Torp launcher online, pops out of the water, and immediately overcharges that frigate. Doesn't want Team 1 to get any advantage in the middle. But we do see a destroyer online. Laser weapons, very effective, of course, with dealing with targets that move. They lock on pretty nicely. And there's a tiny bit of a increase in elevation. You can see it right about there. So those laser weapons not as effective, but he could probably stack up right about here and shoot across. But again, he is getting some assistance from his teammate of Delway to kick out RoboGear, which he's doing pretty nicely, trying to shove that away. Maybe that was killed by that missile launcher from Delway, possibly. Maybe. I couldn't tell one way or the other. You'd have to rewind the video to go see that, even if I did catch it on video. Even if I did, I probably didn't notice it. So words are hard, everybody. Words are hard. Transport being shot at a decent amount by those T1 Sky Slammers, but Tsar is here going to get some T1 PD online, and that will secure the area of the map quite nicely. At least try to. At least there are some units and a T1 PD emplacement already there. So not super concerning, but kind of concerning for the comm. He is starting to drop hit points, but looks like he's not going to be terribly outmatched there. Is T1 artillery as well in the form of Medusa, so those T1 PD are slowly going to be eaten alive, and those T1 PD are going to take out those mass extractors and of course help out with nearby annoyances. It's not looking super well. Now Tsar's dropping almost below the 25% mark, just barely backs up, getting some T2 PD. Now, really, that's what he should have started to build initially. I know he wanted to secure the area immediately, but the T1 PD that dropped were just a little bit too much for him to bear. So, probably a little bit better to just essentially drop right in the middle of those two T1 mexes, and then build the PD essentially right where you build it. And at that point, there's nothing that can be done about that. There are actually some... Medusa can reach. We are seeing some units drop in to assist. Are those Sparkies? Nope, they are regular engineers. And they're going to help wrap up the comm and keep him alive. Definitely better to do that. And of course, those Medusa do have EMP weapons and some Janus online from Waffle Snoop to come help and assist, kicking out Delhi from that western island. So, again, a distraction in the north is still ongoing. It's slowly being remedied by Team 1. And then there's distraction in the west from Team 1 on Team 2, still they're being dealt with as well. So both of these distractions have yielded, I'd say, similar results. I think Team 1 had a little bit longer stay than Team 2 did overall, but at a minimum, a lot of attention being diverted to this, which means less attention on mass extractors, P-gens, upgrades, and technology in terms of tech upgrades and whatnot, and of course microing units and all of that. So APM, I mean, not frustration, but fatigue hasn't really set in too much. It's really about the 30-minute mark as it really takes a toll. We do see, the facility trying to be, online for longer than just a couple of minutes, but I just think the dual base that Delhi has definitely was able to spam up as many units as quickly as he did to be able to deal with this as soon as he did. And yeah, a couple of units died. It's a lot of mass and attention devoted to this, but I think overall, this distraction was more beneficial for Team 1 than this distraction was beneficial for Team 2. Middle of the map, nothing too crazy. Team 1 took the direct middle of it, which yields them one extra max extractor and denies one. But again, one isn't too mission critical. We do see Omni online for Team 2. Of course, that's very, very vital. It's really the only good place to put it, because if you put it in the direct middle of the map, it's going to get shot at by naval units. So it's just one of those, you know, casualties of environment would be probably a good way to put that. Units stacking up here, and Navy has been assisted in the south by Robergear, so it's going to be one player in the north per side, and in the south it's going to be 2 players for Team 2. Maybe we'll see Delhi dip his... Actually, well, he's already here, so I guess he probably won't dip his toes into the Southern Navy because he's already doing that in the Northern Navy anyways, so it'll probably just stay 2v1. And again, the cliff position usually overruns the beach position, so more assistance down here is definitely beneficial. But given the fact that Zara has didn't get his island off as soon as possible, does put Delhi in a decent position to try to at least kick Team 2, not necessarily out of Navy entirely in the north, but drive him back quite considerably. Lots of engineers being dropped out by Robergear in the water. It looks like he's going to help out Navy in the north as well, so he's going to split double duty, or do double duty, by splitting his attention for Navy in the north, Navy in the south, and then a couple of units inbound from Delhi on the land. Granted, not a huge worrisome position. The only thing that you probably want to be worried about is losing the Omni at a maximum, but a couple of T2 PD is going to really just keep those Team 1 units at bay for a pretty long while. It actually went through, says Waffles Noob. What? I don't know what he's talking about. It actually went through. I have no idea what he means by that. In the east, just ASF having a nice little Mai Tai on the beach there, hanging out next to some inferior interceptors from Team 1's hybrid. He, of course, has his forces split in 2. Lots of those laser weapons on board. We see lots and lots of those destroyers online. Of course, they're starting to drive back Team 1, and I would not be surprised to see this start kicking out his own destroyers, maybe even Barracudas, those T2 sub-killers, not sub-hunters, as they are aptly named for some strange reason. We do see some forces inbound from Delhi on the northern side here. And a destroyer trying to walk backwards or drive backwards or float backwards isn't really beneficial, because Salem's can't fire 180 degrees behind them, so you have to essentially be not essentially front-facing, but pretty much front-facing. This fight will benefit and go in favor of Team 1 if they can knock out this position here. For Robogear, here have to send more engineers out, but another facility there, and it's just more hassle and all that. And just Team 2 does not have enough to stack up. And of course, if if Delhi did have Seraphim destroyers and he does have a T1 Seraphim facility. If he had those cruisers on that, he can go cruiser missile nonsense. And it does look like they are targeting that Olympus T3 Omni, and there it goes. Nice grab by Delhi, knocks that out. That's very annoying for Team 2. Gonna blind them for a little bit. Team 1 has their own Omni online, so that's well and truly protected for the time being. It does look like Team 2 has a bigger fleet in the south, but not by much. And of course, be aware that your sonar facility does move in some instances, so when you select all naval units, that is actually included, so just be careful of that. That's a little PSA for that. Destroyers might get shot at by some gunships, but I don't think they're gonna... Those aren't the ones that I thought were actually going to be shot at, so there's that. Could have went at the bulwark, I feel like, but the gunships were not low enough to be able to just actually sit underneath the shielding. Attack inbound from Team 2's Navy isn't super coordinated, so it gets kind of shoved back, but more destroyers are inbound from Robogear, so looks like that might be enough. And of course, as is most things in Navy, you got to keep those things moving. Non-moving ships are an easy target. And of course, that sonar platform gets wiped out as well. I thought only T3 sonar platforms move, but maybe T2s do. Maybe that's a UEF thing, because I feel like the UEF one can only move at T3. I don't know. That's something I'll have to look up at the end of the video. Air Forces, let's take a look at air count so far. Team 1, 126 for Jagged, and Waffles Noob for Team 2, sitting at 126. So roughly in lock and step, but there are nice little squadrons of some Storks online. We're going to be able to take out some naval vessels for him. And they're just holding position, waiting for a target. Again, there's nothing really too bad. The cruiser stack isn't terribly bad, so it's nothing very, very worrisome. And of course, the cruisers for the Cybran class do have redirect missile systems on board, so they do help alleviate a little bit of that pressure. It's not that much because the cruisers have TMD anyways, so they can just shoot them down. Because the friend or foe tag goes from friend to foe once they get redirected, so that's a thing. We do see the combined fleets from Team 2's Northern Navy have been able to push to the almost the main facilities. They might try to just full send it into the T2 naval headquarters and try to lock out Team 1. There are some torp bombers stacked up here from Jagged Appliance, and that might be enough to drive Team 2 away. It's not mainly, it is all destroyers. So there are some torp defenses on board, but there's no cruisers, which means these bombers are going to get a couple of passes in. Air forces are inbound to cover those bombers. And the destroyers are being whittled away ever so slowly. And, of course, the facilities for Team 1 able to replenish very quickly because the travel distance is literally you walk out the door and you immediately start shooting versus Team 2 having to flow all those reinforcements to the front lines and sending them in one or twos is not going to help the situation. It's only just going to stack more mass for Team 1 to scoop up, and I think that might be enough. And Team 2 notices that and starts to flee in the face of it. The bombers inbound get annihilated by ASF, and they're going to help a tiny bit, but like I said, not by much. Do love the T3 Seraphim tech running around in the bubble shields, the parashields, and the whatever department. Cybrans are the only ones that don't get those mobile shielding. T3 Seraphim, but at least they get it nonetheless. And then of course UBF and Aeon get it at T2. Another set of destroyers knocked out. Not going well for Team 2's Navy. They need cruisers. Now they are coming online, but I wouldn't say too little too late, but I would definitely say needed those about a minute or so. Another squadron has stacked up and go, it's not really worth it. Looks like Waffles do maybe not, wants to engage. And in the south, Team 1 has done essentially the exact same thing that Team 2 tried to do, but was unsuccessful at. They're slowly pushing in. They're past the 50% mark, but like I say in Navy, everything's relatively fluid. There's the joke there. Those who get it, those don't. Water, fluid, anyway. I don't really count that really in favor of Team 1 or Team 2, so it's just there. A couple of Galaxy-class battleships online, and those are built by Razuma, T2 upgrading to T3. So the only really things you can build here are Plan Bs and aircraft carriers and, I was going to say destroyers, but battleships. You can build T2 units as well. But the amount of T3 battleships stacking up here for Razuma is going to be quite unnerving from Team 1's perspective. That's a lot of long-range fire. They have a battleship online. They're going to have another one coming, not resupply, but support. Oh, reinforce. There's the word I was looking for. And then another one coming online here shortly. In the west, T2 Navy, T2. What's the T2? Oh, I guess he has his T3 upgrading, so he's going to get T3 upgraded shortly. I mean, it is nice to not have to worry about protecting a T2 naval headquarters over here to the north, but it would be nice to probably just have one just in case this one gets knocked out, because Team 1's fleet is slowly inbound. Again, it looks very weird having a battleship essentially in between a couple of units, but that's just how it goes. Collisions don't really occur with naval units in terms of friendly ones. They do occur with comms, though. I feel like that's kind of funny. You can essentially box a comm in with your own units or your opponent's units, one or the other. In the north, again, the Navy slowly drifting into the land side of things. Team 2 rebuilt an Omni a little bit further back, so not as centrally positioned as they would like, but it's better than nothing. Do you see that group of destroyers have shifted westward? I think that's all of Team 1's destroyers have shifted that way. I don't know if they're trying to draw the attention away or something, but Not stacking them together is an interesting play. Are they under? Oh, okay. See, this is one thing I wish you could see a lot easily. That if I zoom out far enough, it doesn't show they're underwater. And of course, when they zoom in, you can see it, and that's due to the destroyer's unique ability to submerge. It is nice, but the laser weapons are deactivated, so it is a gift and a curse. And now we see some Barracudas inbound, and as much as destroyers have their own torps and their torp defenses, it's not really worth it. And they go, yeah, it's not really worth it at this point, and start to emerge back and fire again. Now we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 battleships online. That is a lot of long-range fire, and those destroyers are not going to be that useful. ASF stacking quite nicely for both air players. 300. Wow, that was really quick for Jagged Appliance and for Waffles Doom. I said that in reverse, but it does look like Jagged Appliance is slightly ahead. Looks like about 50 or so more. That can make the difference. The only thing that would shift it is if Team 1 fought over, well, Team 1's AA or Team 2. If they fought over Team 2's AA, that might be enough to shift things in their favor. Maybe, maybe not. Currently sitting on the map, we, of course, have only seen the only casualty of the game being a killer, I want to say AFK, but FAF. He died in the beginning of the match. It is a 3v4 in favor of Team 2. Akira making a comment about intelligence. Got to get that going immediately. Probably talking about whatever's going on in the backline, most likely. Team 1's eco sitting at 1.8. Team 2 1.7. So really no concern there. A little bit of a lead isn't that crazy. Players that do stand out in eco, though, are Waffles Noob at almost 800, and then Hybrid and Deli at 600 respectively. But of course, as a reminder, Deli has dual base, so there is that caveat, little asterisk there. Well, let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game at 32 minutes and 22 seconds. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so very much for watching. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. In the Southern Navy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 4, 5, that's 4 actually. That one is not a battleship. It looks like one of them already died. Looks like some torp bombers are inbound. Torp bombers are inbound, so this is going to be an interesting engagement. Here come the torp bombers. They are inbound. ASFs are moving in to cut off any sort of secondary run. And it looks like the ASFs from Team 1 are about to engage. They're staying pretty close above Team 2's battleships. They, of course, those frigates and all those whatnot getting in the midst of those battleships, distracting them with their cannon fodder nonsense, at least at this stage in the game. We see some Team 1 facilities just pumping out engineers to get reclaim. Reclaim very important in naval matches. Team 1 110, Team 2 80. Okay, so a little bit in favor of Team 1, but nothing, like I said, too crazy. And it looks like it's just more and more and more battleships. A nuke would be really crazy. Of course, the Seraphim battleships can load nukes on board, and they stack 5. It's cool that they stack 5, just like a regular nuke launcher. The only issue I have is this, and this goes with the subs as well. I have never really seen an instance where someone loads 3 nuke missiles on a sub. Usually one, obviously one just to fire it, but maybe 2, and then at that point somebody usually fires them at that, amount, but never really 3, and let alone 5. Especially with a unit that's supposed to be engaged in combat most of the time. It's kind of not really worth it, in my opinion, but that's just, food for thought sort of thing. A couple of Yasows running around, T3 sub hunters, again going after the squad of battleships over here to the west. Battleships in the Cybran Galaxy class do have torpedoes. They don't have torp defenses, but they do have torpedoes. That is the advantage there. The Seraphim ones do not. The Seraphim ones, of course, have the nuke capable loading. The Summits, I believe they have... I can't remember. Do they have torpedoes? Well, he's going to build one here shortly, so we'll see. And there isn't one online. Galaxy class online for Delhi. Still don't see any Seraphim tech in the Northern Navy. I feel like that is definitely a disservice. Definitely those cruiser missiles as well as the Yasas would be heavily influential on the northern side. Specifically because Team 2 in the northern side is still on T2 Navy mostly. And those Yasas would eat everything alive up there. Another group of bombers inbound from Jagged Appliance. Is he building anything exciting in the background? No. Anybody else building anything exciting in the background? No, no, no. Team 2, no. No, no, and no as of yet. So no big ticket items yet. No artillery, no game enders, no bunch of satellites, no nothing. Not even nukes. Which, again, 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Kind of definitely start to think about nukes and all of the ending the game scenarios, because as much as we love to see, you know, T3 units just barrel down on one another, you got to end the game at some point. You might as well win it. How dare you, says Waffles Noob. What? What is he talking? I have no idea what he's talking about. And Waffles Noob is air, so I don't know what he's in reference to or who he's talking to about. No one's really commented about it one way or the other. It says you're in my way with hybrid as well. Yeah, like I said, no idea. But you see some T3 Authams escorting a chicken, and that's, I think, partly where these battleships are sitting, and they're trying to actually shoot at the battleships on the other side of the isthmus there. And that chicken probably is rethinking its life decisions as it moves into range and actually height of those Galaxy-class battleships. Still more Barracudas being spammed up here by Team 2. It's starting to really drive Team 1's fleet back. They don't have actually that much online. A lot of engineers, decent amount of aircraft carriers, a couple of Yasals, and battleships. Team 2, yeah, it's kind of the same position as well. Most of the T2 and lower units not really being replenished. You got to keep at least the Team 1 frigate spam online, as well as just a couple of destroyers and cruisers, just to make sure that you're covered in both the air department as well as just, again, destroyers. They are aptly named for a reason. They destroy stuff. If you get a certain amount of them, you can actually overwhelm a battleship. Again, and 1,000 of anything will kill anything, so you can get 1,000 frigates to kill a battleship. Has it been done? Most likely. Have I casted a game like that? No, I don't think I have. Not that I can think of. And you can see all those Barracudas just eating the destroyers alive. Not as good as the Yasas would be if Team 2 had Seraphim tech here, but that is that's just a thing. Oh, and I completely forgot, apologies at the beginning of the game, that I did not mention that there are no Aeon players. Apologies to those loyal to the Princess. Hopefully you enjoy the game nonetheless. Completely forgot to do with that. I forgot that there was, not forgot to do that, but I was distracted by combat in the middle, so I forgot to do that. So apologies for that. And again, a reminder, Team 1 has, again, Cybran and Seraphim tech only. Team 2 has UEF and Cybran tech only, so no Seraphim for Team 2, no UEF for Team 1, and then, of course, no Aeons for both teams. Completely forgot to point that out. And we can kind of see Team 1 starting to overwhelm Team 2 on that Northern Navy. And then Zara says he needed 2 minutes. Game pauses, unpauses, because we don't have to deal with that in-game delay. Or real-time delay, I should say, because this is a recording after the fact. ASF, there's got to be a fight at some point. You see 600 ASFs for Team 1's Jagged Appliance and 700. Ooh. We could cross that 1,500 ASFs in one game mark. That would be very impressive. If it's going to be a game, it's going to be Sentenced to do it. More AA Deli, says Jagged. Yep, got to get that AA online. Lots of hover tanks. He could get hover AA as well. And it's Pseudo Navy and Cybran battleships versus Team 2's UEF and somewhat Cybran fleets. We do see a summon online at this point. It probably needs to go more Neptune class. And no, it does not have torpedoes on board, so I think that's just a Cybran feature. Aeons, I don't think have... Yeah, I don't think Aeons have torpedoes as well. Lots of cruisers going forward. Probably not the best unit to stack up in front of all the battleships, but, cannon fodder nonetheless, withstanding. Oh. We see some tort bombers inbound. They're trying to one-tap that battleship, and they almost do. Drop its hit points pretty well. Oh, 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 oh. No. Oh. Oh, sad. The air fight has not occurred as of yet. Yeah, almost 800. And almost 700. We are approaching, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost there. If both Team 1 and Team 2 get maybe 100, maybe 75 ASF more, it will reach over 1,500. And having that many units is just an absolute nonsense to have. Of course, you have to remember all the engineers running around, all the 100 tort bombers online. And you could put all those 100 into ASFs and call it a day, but no, he doesn't want to do that. You have any tort bombers online? Oh, no, you have 20. Okay, so you have some, but you're not 100 nonsense. Another stack inbound, going to take out that battleship. I think he's trying to use the tort bombers as a way to engage the ASFs and move in and try to get a slight advantage there. But, you know, there are some cruisers stacking up underneath, so, and aircraft carriers, so gotta be aware of that as well. Northern Navy not looking good for Team 2. They are being pushed into a corner literally and figuratively and visibly and everything else. Now the base here for RoboGear is not doing well. He also took some shots to the knees with some mass extractors being taken out. He took an arrow to the knee and actually a couple more than that. Nuke online for Team 2's Razuma, and Otham's down here going after some T3 mexes and assisting mass fabs. Nuke is half loaded. Not exactly where I thought it normally would go, and I think that might actually be in range of battleships. Another group of tort bombers inbound. They're just going for anything, everything in the kitchen sink at this point. Oh, this is the perfect time to go for the ASFs while they're distracted on those bombers. Jagged Appliance is like, no, I don't want to do it. No, I don't want to do it. And Waffles Noob, I think he might have had an opportunity to go for it, but there's another tort bombing run. Okay, maybe he's going to go for it now. No, look at all those torpedoes just circling those dead destroyers. And there's even more, more inbound. Oh my goodness, this is not going well here for the bigger HP'd units here for Team 1's Eastern Fleet. Western Fleet has won the Navy. That is no ifs, ands, or buts about that situation. Team 2's got to be thinking about the game long term because it's not looking good for them. You know, you have land invasions technically in the south. You have artillery and missile bombardment in the north, and soon to be actual land invasion with all those hover tank units running around. Team 1 hasn't gone for it. Air fight? Nope. Okay, I just want to make sure before I go look at what everybody else Team 1 is doing. Shielding up his mass fabs and whatnot. Very, very, very good idea to do. Just no engagement. And of course, it's a smart play from Jagged Appliance to keep his Air Force over top at least some AA. There's not that much here, but there's enough that could make a difference. Currently sitting at 713. So if Team 2's Waffle Noob has 800, that will be more than enough. Recall vote did not pass. 760. Nope, it's not enough, and the fight will commence. Let me slow it down a little bit so we can get a full view on this. There it is in all of its glory. Oh, this is just look at the absolute metric ton of nonsense. It's full chaos. And there's no turning. It's just brrr. And it looks like okay, some ASFs aren't even moving here for Waffles Noob, so that's not helping. But I think Team 2's Waffles Noob has the air dominance, or in this case, as I like to say, I have air. And that is huge. Look at the just massacre on Team 2's side of the map. He started off with a little less than 800. He ended with almost 400. So he lost, let's just say, half. Jagged lost all, except, of course, the ones that were just built recently. So that is a huge deficit. Team 2 desperately needed a win in some theater war because RoboGear's base is under bombardment. We have in the west Team 2's Czars base is pretty much non-existent. I mean, some facilities, but nothing much. And it looks like, actually, Waffles Noob gives everything over to RoboGear. 700 things, something, I think. Dinner time. And there's conversations between Jagged and Waffles about their ASF count. I was informed, I forget what day it was, maybe yesterday or the day before, that the Cybern ASF aren't as great as, in this case, I guess, the UEF, or in the case that I was mentioned about, the Seraphim one, because the missiles are slower to track. So I guess by the time the unit would fire its projectiles and then go after its next target, has to wait, I guess, for its target to be hit. The ASFs, and then in that case, the Seraphim ones would already have hit that one and maybe even another one by that time. So I guess the reload, time is longer, which means they can't fire another shot, which means, it's higher shot or how much higher damage per shot, but because the reload time is better on, again, in this case, the Seraphim ones, they can output more damage. So it's kind of like the Percy equivalent versus the Brick. It's like, yeah, the Percy can one-tap a lot of stuff, but because the Brick can fire so quickly, it is an advantage in that regard. Again, I don't know the exact faction differences with the UEF side of things with their ASFs, but just based on that number where it was, about 75 more, and it was a 2-to-1 roughly kill ratio, with Team 2 lost 1, Team 1 lost 2. Definitely an advantage for the UEF side of things. Nuke is going to get shot down, unfortunately, here for him. Wanted to help out Navy, but did not actually get the nuke to land. Again, it looks like Waffles Noob didn't leave the game visibly, but he left the game physically. He's AFK due to the fact that he had dinner time or whatever, so he had to go. It is unfortunate. It doesn't count as a kill because he's A, still in the game, and B, even if he did control K, I still don't count that as a kill. Looks like that nuke is loading pretty quickly for its second one. We still have an invasion to the north. It looks like here it is. Reinforcements from the north crossing the Rubicon. Love to see it. If we have Navy, we'll send reinforcements from the north. And it's going very well for Team 1's fleets in general. T3 Cybern headquarters for RoboGear is going to be gone. All the fleets are engaged over here to the east. There's nothing protecting the main base. Super great job from Delhi using that unique advantage to his, advantage. We do see a lot of spam gunships online to try to assist. The headquarters is not going to make it. This one back here should be fine. And there's also some broadswords spammed up. This is actually kind of a concerning amount of broadswords. Oh, that's a little disappointing. There are some Othams in here, so they might end up getting the kill. But all of those destroyers did not kill off the headquarters. A little disappointing, but a lot of chaos was caused by that. And Team 1 is now aware of the broadswords on a minimum, so take with that what you will. Again, the nuke is online, but nothing big for Team 2. I'm surprised I don't see a Mavor being built, or a Scathis, or satellites because the UEF, or anything like that. I don't see any of that. Nothing big here for Team 1. I mean, that's a little concerning given their Seraphim SACUs, not any of the other factions. So not going for RAS, but more engineer assistance. And still nothing. 44 minutes. It is surprising to not see bigger items on the field. Okay, well, there are a couple of plan Bs, so... Oh, and there's more plan Bs down here, so that's definitely concerning here for Team 2. Obviously, we know about it. Team 2 does not, but still something to keep in the back of my mind. Lots of more Yasaus online here for Team 1, and the situation in the Navy has definitely shifted one way. Team 1 heavily Battleship and Yasaus, more AA running around, of course, more flak to deal with Team 2's advantage in air. And with... Where are those ASFs? Oh, they're over here. never mind. ASF are going to engage once again. I don't... Okay, they're guarding the broadswords. I mean, that could be enough. Taking out the SMDs would be the main thing. Is that one to be taken out? Yes, it is. Looks like he actually diverted some of them to the main group. They're going after the air facilities. I just spiked for some reason. Oh, that's not great. Probably had a spike in his internet or something. Or his, whatever the heck happened. Looks like AA being rerouted from Delhi's southern front. ASF trying to distract with those broadswords. And I don't know. That'd be very explosive with the mass FAFs there. Was this worth it? I mean, if they can kill off the main air grid, it might be enough. But I don't know if it's going to be worth it. Broadswords, there's a lot of them. Are they going to go for Jagged's comm? They're going to go for the comm. Decent chunk of the air grid is gone now. But the shields around the comm might be enough to keep them alive. Oh, it's going to be close. Jagged Appliance might be defeated here. There he goes. He is gone. Second kill of the game goes to Team 2 as well. And he gets another chunk of the air grid there. The main air grid here for Team 1's air player is gone. That chunk is gone. The headquarters is gone. It looks like they're just going to finish it up. SMD might be targeted. Just take out that P-Gen. That's going to be enough. They take out that P-Gen. I think there's enough AA nearby to actually save the... Oh, they saved that P-Gen. But... that is a huge hole. Remaining ASF's trying to get out of there, but going to get shot at regardless. Team 1 has Northern Navy on lock. Team 1 pushing into Southern Navy. So again, air power heavily in favor of Team 2. Nano repair now coming online for Delhi. Wants to make sure he's protected long term and get that boost in hit points. And it is now a 2v4 game. Still in favor of Team 2, but again, as an asterisk to even that, Waffles Noob is AFK, so... he doesn't have any say in how the game goes, at least as of right now, until he comes back to his computer. Oh, okay. Interesting. Going for Scathis. Oh, yes, T3 Engineering. Sweet, that makes sense. Don't know if... I mean, maybe? Yeah, there's not anything heavily shielded, so that should be fine. We do see that Delhi is actually combating the loss in air with aircraft carriers, so that way he can pump out ASF. And of course, there's 6 Plan Bs sitting here, and they are loading nukes. It's going to be a very explosive surprise here shortly. Lots of Team D being built to prevent that. 1 SMD. There's another one right here. I don't like where its place is too close to Navy. There's nothing in the main base. Multiple videos out there will indicate beyond a shadow of a doubt that you have to have your own SMD in the location where you have your main unit, game ender, nuke, whatever. You gotta have that backup, even if it's just one SMD load, one SMD and it's just one missile loaded. It's something. It's way more important to have, the main one be loaded, of course, and, loaded a couple of times, and then the secondary one have just one versus only having one SMD and having it all, essentially 100% loaded. Because if that main SMD goes down, that's not great. And that fleet still pushing in. Yeah, Navy is essentially gone now for Team 2's Razuma. His nuke got taken out at some point. Very unfortunate. Looks like some flak ran around and had a fun time there. 3 nukes firing simultaneously from Team 1. Oh, please tell me it hit somebody. Please tell me it hit somebody. No? Okay. Well, I thought it would hit one of those ASF. I don't know if those can be hit by, SMD, not SMDs, but any sort of aircraft. One of those is down. 2 of those are down. 3 of those are down. 4 of those are down. All 6 wiped out by those bombers. And all 3 of those nukes have been destroyed. Great counter there here by Team 2's RoboGear. Couple of transports inbound with some engineers trying to drop off for some frontline bases. ASF's been like, nope, not dealing with that, and all of those engineers wiped out. We're just trying to feed their families, but it's not going to be enough. Bombers going after whatever targets at this point, going after cruisers. Nice grab there, wiping out all of those. There's a lot more cruisers stacked up over here. Definitely going to be an annoyance here for Delhi. He had 6 of them stacked up there, 3 of them fired, and all of them are gone. Scathis is about to be built, and the heresy that is a Cyberin mobile artillery unit in a UEF base. That is just heresy. I don't see any big ticket items as of yet from Team 1 side of things. Again, the plan B's definitely were big items for sure. He's building more as we speak. He's like, no, that's my strategy. I'm going to stick to it. It looks like he has 1 of them so far. He probably has more than just 1 at this point. No, he just has the 3. Okay. And there goes Navy. Navy has lost for Team 2 entirely. And that Scathis essentially is the only hope for Team 2. My only problem with that is since both navies are gone, Team 1 doesn't really have, a YOLO that they're trying to rely on or anything. Oh, whoa. What happened there? Hold on. Bully can't kick. He's gone. I did not kick. His FAF closed. Oh, that's rough. Maybe not. He says he lost everyone. I think he's... Oh, that is very unfortunate. So Delhi is now gone. Very unfortunate due to external circumstances. So Team 1 loses another player, meaning Hybrid is the last remaining player on Team 1 as the Scathis fires. Not great for Team 1 in both the comms left alive and the just situation in general. It is always unfortunate. Doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what happened, doesn't matter if they're in the lead or they're losing or whatever. It is always unfortunate to see somebody depart the game because of an external circumstance. Always unfortunate. So it sucks. It does happen from time to time, but it's just got to spam power everywhere, says Jagged Appliance. Yeah, that's kind of what you got to do. That air grid is gone. We see SACU spam is now underway for some RAS comms, I would presume. Because why not? The tertiary air grid is the target. The main air grid still has a little bit remaining, but it's not that much. Scathis fire still raining in. Clips a little bit of that air grid, but it's not as bad. 5 planes over top to get a readout what's going on for Robo Gear. We still see that Waffles Noob is in the game still, so technically Team 2 has not lost the player at all. They've lost a physical player in terms of, somebody actually playing, but that's because of, again, another external reason. Looks like not SACU, but SACU spam still underway. They are the engineer presets. They are being targeted by that Scathis. I think he just wants to take out the power mainly. But the only, not an only issue with the Scathis, but same thing with every other artillery. When you change targets, it takes a little bit of time to retask. So it is time that the Scathis could be firing on another target. Granted, because of the way that Team 1 is situated, where they're just spread out, it is not great and great. It's not great because the Scathis has to constantly change targets, go to somewhere else. Maybe they'll hit the target. It would be the same thing with the Maver. The Maver, however, it's designed for single targets. It's designed for taking out heavily shielded fortifications. The fact that the Scathis has to cover a wide area and there's so much around, it's a benefit, but also it's not super great because it can't just be like control alt delete, control alt delete, control alt delete, control alt delete, point click death kind of thing. And the damage is slowly coming in, but how many waves of shots is it going to take out, let's say the T3 air headquarters right there, or the SMD that's sitting there, or the air grid. Single targets, not great for Scathis. Just it isn't. And if you have a lot of single targets everywhere, You would think that's great, but in reality, it's not as good. And here goes those P-Gens. They're down. T3 Air Headquarters has still survived. The SMD is gone. That is nice, but Team 2 does not have a nuke. That's also a thing. Air scouts over the top to get what Team 2's up to down here. There's some warnings about something. I have no idea why they're spamming that, but anyway, teleporter started for Zara's comm. Teleporter on the line here for RoboGear. His shields are down. Not great, but it's not a huge concern, but also not great. Oh, he's getting it back up, so that is something. Let's see if Hybrid is going to continue the nuke spam. Where were they? They were over here somewhere. They were being built over here and they were moving somewhere. I don't see them now. For some reason it's easier to see them when they were forest green instead of tropical ocean blue. But, yeah, literally. Oh, there they are. Found them. They're just stacked on top of a bunch of engineers. No, it's only the 3 of them. Okay. In the east, trying to hit this little narrow neck of environment, very annoying. You have, look at how many shots, quote unquote, wasted by the mountain here. And then, have a little bit over here into the water. But this area is just gone. But look at how many shots it took. Because of that, that's how many sets of volleys. Nuke, tactical Billy Nuke online for Zara. He went for teleporter and Billy Nuke. He's going to go for Telebilly, it looks like. And he's loading it as we speak. Again, everybody on Team 2 is in a small area. Isn't great for nukes. There is now an SMD in here, so maybe somebody heard me through the ether talking about that. So good on them. And another Scathis has been started. Yeah, it would expedite a little bit of stuff, but I don't know if it expedite enough. Again, it's a watering can times 2, which is fine for some things, but not fine for other things, as I've already laid out. And looks like it's going for, I would assume, the other air grid at this point. Yeah, it's going to go for the other air grid. And Quantum Gateway goes down. More P-Gens being built just anywhere, essentially. Scathis ACU upgrade. Second Scathis started. So Team 1 has a view on what Team 2's up to. Let's actually go to Hybrid. They just have, those air scouts constantly coming in. That's where you just need passive AA to deal with that, so there's no intel gathering operations going on all the time. So Team 1 isn't aware of what's going on. And Razuma is going to teleport in. He's going here, of all places. I don't know if that's... Does he have torpedo on board? He has laser. His laser can't be activated when he's in the water. Oh, the nukes. Oh, that's 6. That is 7. Sorry, that is 7 battleship nukes launched. Another one's down. Another one is down. 2 more remain. 1, and that one barely got it. That one was not loaded because it fired its other one. The comm of Zar is gone. He's gone down here. Another one inbound. Wow, that was very pretty. I don't know. That might be the thumbnail. I don't know. It's either the Scathis in the UEF facility or it's the 7... Well, I guess see 6 nukes that fire at the same time. That is an awful amount. Just absolutely awful. But nuke land... Actually, no. Nuke lands... That's not a nuke. That's a comm. As Gottel dies...
Strategic launch detected.
Looks like other stuff was hit. But Team 2 loses their first player of the game. Yeah, I didn't know what he was doing with teleporting his comm in to a water situation. His laser doesn't activate. Was RoboGear... Oh, that... Ooh. Kaboom! There goes RoboGear to Hybrid's nuke. Team 2 ran out of SMDs loaded. Ooh. And then another one just for good measure. So now it goes from a 4-1, technically 3-1, to a 1-1 with Waffles Noob, AFK, and Zar left alive. Not going well for Team 2. Like I said, I don't know why Razuma teleported here of all places. I mean, they probably saw the comm, and that's probably what it was. Look at this. He's being escorted by a decent amount of cruisers. Billy Nuke lands. What? That's... Did he teleported there and Billy'd here? I don't understand what happened. I'm confused. Anyway, yeah, but I just don't understand the teleport Razuma comm. I really don't. And then there goes Czar. He control Ks. Interesting. Leaving Waffles Noob, the last remaining player on Team 2, who AFK'd however long ago that was. I don't think Team 2 has anything really at this point. They had the Scathis, which is gone now. And yeah, epic 1v1. Yeah, I finally beat him, says Hybrid. He's not firing. Look at that. He's actually paused. Oh, there goes the immediate just one tap. And there's the game. Team 1 wins the game. I was going to give, if Team 1 won, I was going to give it to Delhi for MVP. I mean, kind of the default usually is the last remaining player on each team kind of gets the MVP. But, I don't know, I still think Delhi did a very good job overall. So while Team 1's Hybrid was the last remaining player, and it was awesome to see all these things fire at the same time, I do think Delhi still deserves MVP. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or not. Again, it is unfortunate that he got control, he not control K'd, but, his FAF crash and all that. But I still think he deserves it. So let me know down in the comments if you agree. Thank you so much for watching. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one.